Good evening, folks. Shades here, and this is and this episode is about Halloween. Originally, way before the pumpkin, used called a jack-o'-lantern because the idea is named after someone called Jack. Seriously, they used turnips. They carved a face in the turnips, and before rotting candy, they gave you out apples and oranges. Ironically, it's orange, and that's probably why Halloween is, orange. And and probably because of the pumpkin, and maybe it was Jack's favorite color. But I remember as a kid, school was better at night with them Halloween parties. I can't explain the feeling that went through me. I really loved it as a kid, and my favorite soda was there, and my favorite snacks and pizza. I guess that was our dinner, and then a dance. But I don't know if I'm allowed to mention certain soda, but a red, white, and blue soda that's very popular was one on the table, another red and white soda on the table that Santa drinks every year in commercials. That was on the table, and root beer, grape, and orange soda. Those are my favorites with popular, Doritos, with Doritos and pizza. And that's the classic retro 80s, 90s Halloween list. Oh, and fruit punch, and that's it. If you want to have the retro feeling. That's what they served in the 80s and I think 90s at Halloween time. True. Oh, this Halloween special is gonna be lit. I seem to be having spooky technical difficulties. I apologize for some random unknown reason I got cut off. And we also, around this time, we celebrate Sam Hain, and kids look both ways before you cross the street because cars don't care if they hit you. Wear bright clothing, something reflective, so you can be seen and be safe. Don't eat your candy till you get home and bring it to your folks so they can look over it. And if you're not bringing your folks or your big sister with you, just be careful. Don't go into a stranger's house. I was blessed to have my sister and go with me, and my mother. And for like every Halloween, I was always Dracula for as long as I can remember. Constantly. That's the only thing I was. And I got older and I got into other things. And when you get older, there isn't much to do anymore. And it gets really depressing. And I'm too old for candy now, and I'm not the type of punk who throws eggs at houses and toilet paper and trees on people's property. I've never been one to do that, and I never will be. So that's not even an option. That's out the window. And so I guess the best, and traditionally, I a new wrestling game is always supposed to come out every October, and now this year it's not happening, so I guess the only thing left to do is eat candy and watch classic black and white movies with the universal monsters, Dracula, Wolfman, Invisible Man, the ones that made the path to make today's horror possible. Those monsters that started all the classics, and they are classic, they defined classic. And all the Halloween cartoon specials, whether it's certain episodes from a TV series or Halloween cartoons, or Halloween movies we all know and love. I don't know if I'm allowed to say most of them because they're owned by Disney. But yeah, it's just all this stuff I do every Halloween. And when you get older, it doesn't feel the same anymore. And all you can do is think about things you can't do anymore. But this Halloween, as a Halloween special. This is just a special Halloween special audio episode, but this Halloween I'm attempting to go into the woods for you because I guarantee no one else is doing that. And ironically, I'm saving everybody else by doing this because I'm keeping a distance while people are taking chances in the same room with each other at parties. I love you all very much. I hope you stay safe this Halloween, and may you have a happy and scary Halloween. And I'm reaching towards the end. But, what's that? Look at that. Past 5 minutes and I'm still going. Wow. Yes, this is a Halloween late night audio show Halloween special episode about Halloween. And it started way back then. And it's also about Sam Hain and everything, which actually makes Halloween longer. In my opinion, it should be. Because Christmas gets 2 days and dinner. Thanksgiving gets dinner, but we never see Halloween dinner, do we? Not really. There should be Halloween dinner. Am I right? When was the last time any kid from the 80s and 90s now sat at the table with their parents for Halloween dinner or their family? Probably never, right? That's what, that's where Christmas comes in and Thanksgiving. But, yeah. So I'm just really excited, man, and like, they used to be so much to do. um, it all started back in the day. Like I said before, it started off with turnips. There wasn't pumpkins turned into jack-o'-lanterns because the whole thing was invented by a guy named Jack. And I think he was into mischief, and he was a prankster and a trickster, and it's just cool to get a holiday named after you. And there wasn't candy that rotted your teeth. They used to give out apples and oranges, and the deal was, when you say a certain word, they'll give you a treat. Or back in the day, I believe they used to trade something, and you would get apples for it. It was just every Halloween it's different everywhere else. It's still different everywhere else today, including, was it maybe Mexico and New Mexico? Either way, beautiful holiday, beautiful people. I'm wishing that one of these nights I could, in Mexico and New Mexico, maybe both have Halloween with them. They try to bring their families back from the dead, and it sounds like something great to celebrate because, family's beautiful if you're lucky enough to be around them. And it's a time to remember for them. It's also a time to remember family and to bring them back. It is a powerful night when all the houses align, and it's the time where the dead can come back the most, which I always question because people are seeing ghosts every day. I mean, look at all the videos here on YouTube. Am I right? So yeah, let me know in the comments below how you're going to celebrate your Halloween. And don't eat all your candy if you don't want a stomach ache or tooth problems. But kids don't know any better, so go easy on them. They're still learning. They're still growing. And for some reason, kids love sugar, and when they make it all bright and colorful, it just attracts them like a moth to a flame. And I just keep wanting to be around the stuff. So if your kids are out with your parents, listen to them. Stay by their side. If you're old enough, be safe anyway, because Shade still cares. And I hope your Halloween is what you want it to be. And I can't stop thinking about it, man. Everybody getting together in the neighborhood, dancing at City Hall, and the contests, and I won a jar of candy corn. Well, my hands behind my back, kind of, because I had to not bob for apples the whole time. There was a chef, and he put apples on the string, and he hung them up like, nooses in a tree, but they were apples on the end of them. And you had to have your hands behind your back, and you had to take a bite. And when I did, I won a jar of candy corn. And I never won anything in my life except for that moment from what I'm allowed to remember in this borrowed time. And it was like a contest of wrapping your mommy up with toilet paper until she looked like a mummy, making your mommy into a mummy. I remember this kid was so creative to come in and dance, like dressed like a robot. Remember when you used to make your costumes? I remember making costumes. and it was in school at night. And with that being said, for creativity, why didn't you get extra credit? Why did none of us get extra credit? This is specifically to tell the story of how Halloween started and how it can be you can experience things on that one night for 24 hours. And this is specifically for the 80s and 90s kids, are probably much older with kids of their own now. And for those who missed out, because I seen in so many comments that people wish they were born in the 80s instead, because today is so like boring. Yep, you missed out. Um, I know there's going to be something I have to say, and I'm going to forget what it is, and I'm sorry about that. Um, it's just Halloween is a special night, and it's the birthday of Harry Houdini, and I'm sure many other people of the world, but mostly I know it's on Halloween night. Make sure you say happy birthday to Harry Houdini, you know, and leave him a rose. This is Shades of the Late Night Audio Show Halloween Special. And as always, I love you very much. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Boo!